So, I was on Tumblr and I saw this post that really got me frustrated and in a huff. So, this is my response to it, and I'm going to read to you what it said. Okay. What it said was, men don't get to decide what is misogynistic. Straight people don't get to decide what is homophobic. Cis people don't get to decide what is transphobic. White people don't get to decide what is racist. People in positions of power don't get to decide what is considered oppression. That's how we move backwards, not forwards. And I have opinions, and well, my opinions are not that, honestly. What's moving backwards is segregating and picking sides, as opposed to pushing for equality. People can identify what is good and bad without being a part of a minority. People can have opinions and speak for another party. It is entirely possible. We see gay activists out there that are straight and are pushing for gay rights and equality. And you're saying that they don't have a say. That doesn't make sense. And another thing is that racism, just blowing my mind right now, is prejudice towards a specific race, not black people. I know it's pretty crazy that, racism doesn't just pertain to black people. It's actually kind of racist to assume that racism is only for black people, because you're basically saying that black people are the only people who can be hated, the only race that can be hated. Well, I tell you the truth, there's racism of all sorts. And in fact, there is racism towards white people. It happens. Honestly, I face racism because I'm white. I mean, honestly, racism is just preconceived judgment towards another race or degrading another race for being that race. And that happens with any race. Does not matter if you're majority or minority, it really just doesn't matter. Okay? And people in positions of power can be oppressed. That does happen. Honestly, it happens to, a good example is the President of the United States often faces oppression for the fact that he is the President of the United States. People saying that he should fix everything within a flick of a finger, and whenever he doesn't do it, people tell him he's shit. Okay? People blame him for things that he had no control over. That's called oppression. Yeah. Oppression. I think what a huge problem with our society is that we can't stop ourselves from choosing sides. We always have to point fingers and somehow have to blame another person for something. We have to choose sides and segregate ourselves. We can't seem to wrap our heads around the idea of equality. Because somehow this is some radical idea that people can't understand to actually be nice to one another. I know this is crazy stuff. I mean, being nice to someone. I just don't know how to do that. Try to cohesively exist. And I don't understand how people think it's not okay for a majority to oppress a minority. But if a minority oppresses a majority, it's fine. It's dandy. It's fine. It's actually funny, It's actually pretty funny, Whole white girl things. God, white people. They do those crazy things. They're just so white. It's okay because, they're majority and they deserve it. Honestly, some people can't wrap their head around that majorities can be oppressed. On smaller scales, usually on smaller scales, sometimes on larger scales, but mostly on smaller scales, it does happen. And what I like to call this huge thing of not really understanding oppression towards majorities is accepted bigotry. And because what it can't, what it comes down to is the age-old excuse, they did it first. So, by that flawed logic, it is okay to be racist towards white people, to oppress men, to be heterophobic, to blame people in power just because they're in power, degrade rich people because they're more fortunate, and for people who are living in good conditions not be able to complain because someone's life is worse. You're not allowed to have feelings, people, because you're supposed to be happy because your life is perfect, right? Because everyone's life is perfect. You can't be sad. You're not allowed to complain. Okay, no. It's not okay. It's not okay to oppress anyone. No matter what. It's just not okay to oppress other people. It's just not. I think what we all need to do is sit down for as long as we need, think these things through, gather ourselves, and just stop being dicks to each other. Because honestly, the way to move forward is to just simply stop being fucking dicks to each other. Just stop being dicks. I am tired of all this shaming and blaming and degrading everybody. Like, why do we have to point fingers at someone? We have to degrade someone at some time. Everyone has to be angry with everyone. No one can just stop and be nice to someone. It's just not possible. And this post that this post had 15,000 notes on it. And that honestly scares me. This is what makes me lose faith in society. When society thinks they're being progressive and liberal and doing the right thing, when in reality, they're still doing the exact same things wrong. Terrible things happen all the time and we can't stop them. But when a society legitimately doesn't know what is right from wrong, that is what makes me lose faith in society. So thank you, and shut the fuck up.